Howdy, and welcome to the Texas Bucket List. Who's ready for a cup of coffee? How about some Joe that's roasted right here in the Lone Star State? We found a fine place in the Alamo City that's been known for their beans since the 80s. So that perked us up enough for a visit to What's Brewing. If you ever find yourself on the north side of San Antonio, just down the road from the airport, you might notice a certain smell. This aroma isn't the sort of scent you'd expect to sniff out around these parts, but if you end up on the right side of Rhapsody, you'll find the coffee culprit, putting the perked perfume in the air.
I know lots of people that don't drink coffee for one reason or another, but I've yet to meet a person that says, I hate the smell of coffee. It just hits a certain part of your brain.
The rain, leather, cigars, and coffee.
I think you got it covered.
Tony Chbeir has a nose for all things that smell good, especially coffee, because that's his business. How old were you when you had your first cup of coffee?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I don't know if it was legal.
Tony and his brother Sami are the caretakers of a company their father Roger started back in 1979, What's Brewing.
We take coffee serious, but we don't really take ourselves too serious.
The business got started with Roger's love for coffee. Being a native of Lebanon, he had a hard time finding a good cup of Joe that met his standards back in the 70s, so he started roasting his own. Today, Tony takes care of the business, which includes a coffee bar and pinball games because why not? Sami, meanwhile, procures the kernels that create the coffee and tests them in his lab. So is your brother the scientist, the mad scientist of the group?
He is, he really took coffee to a next level when Dad stepped down. So Sami is definitely the coffee scientist.
So these are all the coffee beans here.
That's right. We've got all these coffee bags. Each of these are 60 kilos or 70 kilos, so they weigh up to 154 pounds.
Wow, that's huge. And this is what a coffee bean looks like before it's roasted.
That's the raw coffee. It's called green coffee. This is a natural prep Honduran. It actually has a fruity flavor because the fruit is dried on the cherries before they're processed. So when you roast it, you actually taste that fruit.
It's amazing. It looks like a peanut.
It doesn't taste like a peanut. It kind of tastes like a pinto bean.
And so you take this and then we roast it.
That's it, right over here.
Let's go see.
Let's check it out.
Jake the roaster was hard at work creating his masterpiece in the roaster, which is sort of like a big dryer. And at this point of the show, you really wish smell-o-vision was a real thing.
The caramelization, that smell, is when the coffee's done. Each coffee has a different profile, different flavor notes that you have to be able to smell. And that's what Jake does. He just smells his coffee and he knows when to let it out.
So you're saying Jake's got a good nose?
Jake's got a good nose for coffee.
With coffee beans from 30 different countries, this process brings out all sorts of flavors.
It's just like a grape. A grape is going to determine what the wine tastes like, but then it depends how you ferment the grape. So that's kind of like when you're talking about the roasting process, it's more about how the coffee's developed. It's just a much shorter period of time than a bottle of wine. You don't have to let it age for 6 years before you drink it.
Yeah.
Don't do that with coffee.
That's so good then. Now all these beans are tested by Sami, and his lab is right next to the game room. The pinball noise has got to get a little old.
Well, certain games. This game right here, yeah, it gets old quick.
Yeah,
No,
the
thanks,
coffee's
Jake.
keeping you up, and so's the pinball games.
Yeah.
Sami sips on coffee at all hours of the day, looking for the best of the best.
He's here till sometimes 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, just trying different coffees to find the best one to put in the back.
You're making them drink way too much coffee.
Hey man, I got nothing to do with that. It's part of the job.
How's it 1? I'm not even tired. Secretly, I think you might have a caffeine addiction. On to testing.
We've got 5 different coffees here, 3 cups of each coffee that we've roasted in a specific manner for quality evaluation.
In a process called cupping, the first thing that's tested is the dry aroma.
What Jake and I are going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to smell each of these. What is the immediate reaction we get to these? And then we'll write that down.
And you guys have some amazing sense of smells, because I smell coffee.
But I mean, to say that smells like this.
It does smell different. Yeah, see, this is
Right.
much more earthy.
Yeah, it's earthy. Earthy's exactly how this is going to go down.
Then the smell of the coffee is tested again after being brewed.
Some coffees just really, this is where they blossom.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all getting so close to that, I'm worried you're gonna suck it up your nose.
Oh yeah? So this is a good one. So the other ones didn't form, or didn't maintain the crust like this, but this one's got this nice layer of crust on it. So this is what's called a break.
Tell me you don't do that at a normal coffee shop, right? You know,
What's that?
Get your
Sit
nose
there
in
and
there.
get my nose in there? Of course I do.
And the final step, tasting the coffee. And this gets a little crazy.
That's salsa verde right there.
It's like wine tasting, but with coffee.
I don't think I'll ever enjoy a cup of coffee the same. But if coffee roasted right here in the Lone Star State is right up your alley, you should see What's Brewing at What's Brewing, the perfect place to wake up and smell the coffee on the Texas bucket list.
Between the family, the pinball, the roasting, you get to see it all.
There's 100 good places to get coffee in Texas, but there's not a lot of places that have pinball and coffee, and you can see the roasting operation going on.